Uncle Jesse used to say, "Oh, Duke boy, Bo and Luke used to sneak into town by scaling the rooftops because folks in Hazard never look up." Hey, Vern. Hello, my name is Major Mike Webb. And that's not just a title of rank I earned in the Army, yet it's actually my legal name, believe it or not. Kind of like a state name. Major, like Major Trouble. And as you know, we are running for Arlington County School Board down here in Arlington, Virginia. And you are probably saying to yourself, what makes me think I'm qualified to even run for school board in the best public school system in the Commonwealth of Virginia? I never even attended public school. I'm not a parent. I'm not a teacher. I don't have any kids. So keep Mike Webb away from our school. Well, I don't know if you heard the latest news here in Cosmopolitan Arlington, where we have two progressive Democrats vying to be the ones to replace Monique O'Grady on the school board, one who took away the name of Washington Lee High School. And she was a graduate of American University, which is not a bad school at all. Ranked 76 in National Universities list, the U.S. News and World Report, but it's not as good as Brown University, ranked number 14, one of the many schools to which I actually got accepted many years ago, and the alma mater of Miranda Turner, an attorney and graduate of the University of Virginia Law School, who is running for school board in the Democrat caucus. And she ain't really black, but she says that the way to address achievement gaps is to know that they're there. That makes sense. Bring them out into the light. And if you are diversity and inclusion minded, you probably agree with that idea, because it sounds good, just like good folks in Arlington like to hear. Good stuff. But you know that she is running against Mary Gadara, a graduate of William & Mary, which ranked at number 39. It's actually not as good as UVA, where she received her master's. And you know that she is a former teacher who works at PBS now, and who also ain't really black, but she says that when it comes to that achievement gap, we've seen some really troubling literacy statistics that only comes with achievement gaps, but it may be new to you. And we really need to pay careful attention. You didn't notice an achievement gap, but you know that the achievement gap has been around for over 150 years in Old Arlington, right here in Old Arlington, where, as a matter of fact, they may attack Richmond for being the former capital of the Confederacy, but the American Nazi Party actually had their headquarters right here for about 2 decades. But apparently nobody noticed at all, and apparently you remember now. Did you know that there wasn't even a colored fella ever elected to the county board until old Judge William T. Newman, the presiding judge now over at the circuit court these days, was elected in 1987? Hell, I had already been elected as the first black ever elected to student body office at Washington University, General Lee's College down in Trump Country, Shenandoah Valley, before he even got elected in liberal and inclusive Arlington. That is Washington and Lee, and not that high school where they changed the name to stop offending colored folks. A little tiny rich boy college, 9th oldest in the nation, in fact, where they say that the first black who ever graduated from any college in the United States was a graduate back around 1796, when George Washington was president, and ranked number 9 among national liberal arts colleges, the most competitive college in the Commonwealth, in fact. But of course, like they say, I ain't really black. I'm not a Democrat or progressive, and I'm on the wrong side of history, so keep Mike Webb away from our schools. But hey, Vern, did you see the latest news about the National Merit Scholarship winners? A total of 28 from Virginia, from a total of 1,000 awards and college scholarships from 140 corporations, company foundations, and other business organizations. College money, free college money. Who doesn't want free college money? They even got books about getting free college money. Maybe around 1.5 million students across the nation in their sophomore year every year take what is called the PSAT. Not the SAT like many think, but the PSAT that at least some students take, especially those who are planning to go on to college, because it helps you to get into more practice at taking standardized tests like the SAT to actually get into a college. Unless you decide to go to a less competitive college that requires absolutely positively no college entrance exam. Like the state health commissioner, Muhammad Norman Oliver, the fellow who closed all of our businesses, schools, and churches by declaring a communicable disease a public health emergency 1 month too early, but then decided to totally procrastinate for months on ramping up the state's capabilities to perform tracer contact follow-ups, a pretty critical way of identifying and interdicting the spread of an emerging pathogen. And now we have 10,500 dead Virginians. And apparently, even as late as May, he couldn't explain tracer contacts to the press. So if Muhammad Norman Oliver can blow off the SAT and get into a top 25 medical college nonetheless, and be in a position to close the entire state and your school, even without legal authority, because it's too early, why let a little standardized test stop you, right? Especially if you're black, because Black Lives Matter, and why can't we get along? Just keep Mike Webb away from our school. Where was I? Oh yeah, Vern. PSATs and the National Merit Scholarship finalists in the competition for about 1,000 scholarship awards should be used at any accredited college or university. And if you were that smart, why would you go anywhere else? Always travel first class, if you have the means, they say, in cosmopolitan society. And these scholarships, based upon academics, not sports now, are mostly renewable. So you can keep getting more money for up to 4 years of college, undergraduate study, and provide annual stipends that range from $1,000 to $10,000 per year. Think of how many cheeseburgers that is at the cafeteria. Scholarships and stipends too. It's the gift that keeps giving. And some provide a single payment between $2,500 and $5,000. So that sounds like a good deal if you can't catch a football. Really, really good, and prefer to read books and do all that nerdy stuff. So it's not exactly bad to not be one of the cool kids on the football team. But like the Powerball and the state lottery, to win it, you gotta be in it. And believe it or not, only about 1.5 million kids in around 21,000 high schools across the nation give up a day to take the PSAT, a simple test. A simple test. You go for a COVID-19 test, but you don't take the PSAT. And of that number, only 1%, or 15,000, are selected based on their standardized test scores as finalists. And if you are in an achievement gap and getting poor scores on the state standards of learning tests, you are just SOL, as they say, because both the SAT and the PSAT are those standardized tests that even Muhammad Norman Oliver claims are racist, which is probably why he never took the SAT. But Mama used to say to me, if you decide to just spit in the wind, you should always bring a towel to put on your face. Why not improvise, adapt, and overcome to learn how to pass that racist test so you can win the scholarship money? I say, crying ain't gonna solve anything. Give you a wet face, just like spitting in the wind. And just think, you could be one of the 7,500 National Merit Scholars, just like 28 so far in Virginia, with the National Merit Scholarship Foundation Scholarship Awards from their private scholarship fund to be announced later in May. That's right, Vern. Only 28 of 7,500 in Virginia, and it could be you if you take a test, and you will. Back in September 2020, around 17,000 lucky former sophomore students with good test-taking skills and bound for college semifinalists were chosen based on each state's percentage of graduating high school seniors. And semifinalists were the highest scoring students in their states. Not at the goalpost, but on the test, representing about 1% of the country's high school seniors. Recognizes being smart. Now, it would be great if you only had to give up a day to take a test and qualify for scholarship money. Really, really great. But to be considered for a finalist standing, semifinalists had to submit a scholarship application with an essay. Prepare you for those college application essays. Information about extracurricular activities, awards, and leadership positions, just like when you're trying to apply to college, as well as demonstrating an outstanding academic record and receive a high school official's recommendation. So you better be a good friend of your principal. So they are not just looking at a student who knows how to take a test or can cheat on a test. And if you are a good standardized test taker, but not much else, you may be running into some problems at qualifying for that scholarship award. And imagine trying to add some extracurricular activities and personal recommendations in a pandemic when schools are closed. Think about it. But somehow, Even in a pandemic of 28 Virginians so far, there were only 2 over in Alexandria at the private boarding school, Episcopal High School for rich kids. And she received a scholarship from the folks at Leo's Corporation and plans to study international relations. While the other, a student at Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology, received a scholarship from Raytheon Company, and he plans to study computer engineering. Good students, good test-taking skills, and college scholarships sound like they are on their way to their dreams. And you're sitting at home, staying at home, scared of a coronavirus and schools are closed. But would you believe that not even one kid in Arlington, not even one, was on that list? Not even one. But maybe Mary Cadera, Democrat, or Miranda Turner, Democrat, will not only be able to succeed, even the past 3 superintendents have failed in eliminating the achievement gap, but also get Arlington a National Merit Scholar with a scholarship award to the college of their dreams. And as graduates of college worse than mine, in a county where my college hasn't even seen a student hail from in years, the only thing I can say is for you to join in the throng of the folk lining up and song to say, keep Mike Webb away from our schools. And thank you for your support. We're going to do a little experiment in natural selection and find out what happened to the dinosaurs. Yes, say yes to fossil fuels. Check out the big brains on Brett's. Now you know that dog don't hunt. This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb. And y'all go back now. Yeah.